We continue this morning with more from the Palm Springs International Film Festival. And joining us right now is Thamaya Payne to tell us more about his film, Stolen Seas. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. What is this film about?
Basically, it's just a documentary about Somali pirates. I went to Somalia a couple of years ago, sort of fell in love with the country, and decided to make a movie about pirates.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was quite an experience, and the movie really tries to get not just starts to go beyond the pirates and sort of what are the root causes of this. I mean, I think it's something that everyone sort of heard about in the news, but it's also something that people actually don't really know what's going on in Somalia or why there were pirates.
So the act of the piracy, but what led up to it?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of see the piracy as a symptom of a much larger sort of illness that sort of plagues the region. And so I start with the pirates, and then I sort of go inch by inch into the deeper root causes, because as many you might know, or other people know, that Somalia has been at war for almost 30 years. So it's a completely destroyed state. And, you know, in the beginning of the project, I was very, interested in the pirates and how they were taking these ships. But then I started being like, well, why are they doing this? Why would someone really risk their lives to go out on the sea and
the story behind the story.
The story behind the story, yeah. So that's kind of like where I started.
You were in Somalia to film this, or where did you film this, and what was it like?
I filmed it all over the world. It started out in Kenya, and then we moved up into Somalia. I went to Somalia on and off for 3 years. Went to the Philippines, went to, Estonia. I mean, that's what's sort of fascinating about this story, is that it's a truly international story. It takes place out, the piracy takes place off the coast of Somalia, but it involves people from Sri Lanka, people from the Philippines, Denmark, England, the United States. It's really a sort of microcosm of what's going on a global level.
So I'm sure a lot of beautiful footage, scenery and everything. It takes people away to another part of the world.
Yeah, like I mean, you're gonna go to like 18 bazillion different time zones in my movie, and the movie's in 5 languages with subtitles.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's a truly sort of like 2013. How does the world economy work? And also, it gets into the details, but it's also fun. I mean, it's a movie about pirates. We had a screening the other day, and it was packed, and someone asked me, he was like, "Oh, did you expect to sell out?" And I said, it's about pirates. Yeah, I mean, people want to know about pirates. It's something that we have all grown up with, and we have this sort of fascination. Everyone says that to me. But there's also a serious story behind it.
True.
And the serious story behind it is that, Somalia continues to be one of the great sort of crisis areas of the world. There's 500,000 people living in a refugee camp in Kenya. There's 4 million people displaced. And it doesn't get a lot of press. But what does get press is like the pirates or all these big salacious stories, and that's sort of an opportunity to sort of also raise awareness about what's going on in Somalia.
That's interesting. As most messages, most films have messages, and this one is to help open the eyes of the viewer to what's really going on there.
Yeah, what's going on there, and also it's a way for us also to understand what's going on in our own economies, in our own world. Like all of the world's goods go through this one section.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a way also, the sneakers that you wear are probably, passing by a bunch of Somali pirates right now.
All right, well, good luck to you. We look forward to seeing more of it. Stolen Seas screens tomorrow, January 8th at 8 p.m. and Friday, January 11th at 10 a.m. at Camelot Theaters in Palm Springs. Thank you for joining us this morning.